2024 was a tumultuous year for television. While there was some growth, 2024 saw the closure of many other networks and services. Some of these networks and services were household names, and some of them you might be hearing about for the first time ever. As the television landscape continues to sway, today I take a look at some of these organizations, why they failed, and if there might be a future for any of them. Here we go with TV networks and services that shut down in 2024. Newsnet. Newsnet was a terrestrial news network based out of Cadillac, Michigan. Originally to be named LNN, Local News Network, in 2017 a Kickstarter campaign had launched to create what would be a 24-hour network. This network would focus solely on news without relying on typically one-sided political panel and debate programming. The Kickstarter was a tremendous failure. However, LNN would eventually be reorganized into Newsnet, and the company would launch on January 1st, 2019. In 2022, the network was sold to Manoj Bhargava, the CEO of Innovations Ventures LLC, the company that produces the popular 5-Hour energy drink. The company would expand programming, adding a new studio as well as several news talents to the roster. By September 2022, several low-power stations were converted over to Newsnet-owned and operated stations in Las Vegas, South Florida, and Detroit, to name a few. Newsnet would have affiliates across the United States as the network appeared to be quickly growing. However, what seemed to be completely out of the blue, Newsnet would shutter on August 2nd, 2024, laying off its entire staff of 80 employees in the process. Bhargava stated, "We believed people would want to watch a clean, non-biased news network, but we were wrong." Freevee. Freevee is a streaming service that currently is in the process of being phased out by its owner, Amazon. Launched in 2019 originally as IMDb Freedive, and then shortly thereafter rebranded to IMDb TV, Freevee would take on its latest name in April of 2022. The service would be an ad-supported free tier of Amazon Prime Video, offering a limited selection in comparison to the full selection offered on the paid tier. Freevee would offer original programming including shows such as Judy Justice, a successor to the recently ended Judge Judy, as well as its spin-off Tribunal Justice. Throughout the 2020s, Freevee would continue to add content to the platform. However, in February 2024, a report came out that Amazon was planning to goodnight Freevee in order to streamline the viewer experience and focus attention on the Amazon Prime service. Amazon denied this at first. However, in November 2024, it was announced that Freevee would be phased out over the coming weeks, and all of its free-tiered programming will shift over to Prime. The Pac-12 Network. Launching in August 2012, the Pac-12 Network was the first college sports network to be owned outright by an NCAA conference. The 24-hour network focused solely on sports, including live events as well as archived sports broadcasts. All told, the network would produce approximately 850 events each year, including games, coaches' shows, and news conferences. The network would, however, face a sudden roadblock when in 2022, it would be announced that many schools would defer from the Pac-12, moving to other conferences such as the ACC, Big 12, and Big 10. This would leave only 2 schools, Oregon State and Washington State, in the Pac-12. As a result of the conference's reduction to only 2 teams, the network was shut down on June 30th, 2024. The good news, though, is that several staff members will remain, as the Pac-12 studios will produce a studio show for the CW, who will be taking over coverage of the remaining 2 teams. Also, with 6 schools expected to join the Pac-12 in 2026, time will tell as to whether or not this network will be brought back in the future. It is absolutely possible. Noggin. The joint venture between Nickelodeon and the Sesame Workshop launched in 1999, 25 years ago. The network also at one time had an extensive lineup of classic children's show reruns, exposing a whole new audience to shows such as The Electric Company, 321 Contact, Square One TV, and Ghostwriter. Sesame Workshop, however, would sell its stake to Viacom, now simply Paramount, in 2002. Noggin would also be the home to several original programmings including Fred on Your Head Show, A Walk in Your Shoes, and Big Kids, just to name a few. Although the initial version of Noggin would shutter in 2009, it would be brought back as a mobile streaming service in 2015. In February of 2024, Paramount announced that it would be shutting down Noggin and sadly laying off its entire staff. The reason seems to be as part of a company-wide restructuring effort. The service shut down on July 2nd, 2024. Some of Noggin's content has been moved over to Paramount Plus in recent months, however. As for the future of Noggin, in October, the website was updated with a return to the original 1999 logo, as well as the words "rebooting." It will be interesting to see what the future holds for the brand. My name is Mark, and I produce television nostalgia content. If you love this material, do like this video, share it with your friends, and hit that subscribe button so I know what I should continue making. Also, if you are interested in bonus lists such as the top 8 edgy marketing campaigns that hilariously failed, early access to many of my videos, plus a monthly podcast, then hit that join button and for less than $1 a month, become a member of this channel.